We're happy to be here today on somewhere known as the Gentleman's Lounge. So these are my elders. They've been part of my life. I don't know for how long now. So I'll be asking them awkward questions. So we have Mabetsa Betse with me, Kumalo, and Elder Filagati. Welcome, my elders. Please welcome the viewers as well.
Thank you, Samgelo, and thank you for hosting us today. Greetings to our viewers at home.
Thank you, Samgelo. It's a pleasure to be here. We hope we'll be able to answer the awkward questions. Yeah.
Thank you, Samgelo. You're welcome, viewers.
So I have about a few questions and a few questions specifically to everyone here. So mostly I've been through school. I can't tell you for how long I've been dating people. But now the questions that we've heard, especially with our youth and our young adults, is what is the right time to date? What is dating? Who should one date? And all of that. So I'll just ask Babetsa to tackle just this one question for me, and that is, what is dating?
Thank you, Samgelo. This is one of the difficult questions to answer as the elder of the church addressing the young ones. You know, because there are so many definition and interpretation when it comes to dating. But what is key, dating is between, that will be accepted, is between a male and a female. And these two, according to the definition which I will buy into it, these two, they need to have some kind of evaluation to each other. Are we ready for what we think we want to, or the steps that we think we want to take? So if you come to a point to say, I want to have a relationship, and an intimate relationship with someone, you must know your intentions first. So dating is saying, I want to know someone if he's the right candidate or individual for me as a wife that I will spend with. So what I can say is, most of young people think dating is test driving. You know, when you go to a car dealer, you go there and say, hey, this car it's interesting. I would like to own this kind of model. And then the salesman will say, would you like to take a ride or to test drive that car? No, dating is not like that in a Christian fraternity. So those individuals are supposed to be people who are matured. And taking also the next question, those people are supposed to be matured. They are supposed to be ready in terms of their spiritual level. They have to be mature spiritually, physically, in all aspects of it. So then they will be able to say, I have been praying for a partner, and I think God, because we cannot remove or ignore that part as well. I think God is also interested, God is directing me to that particular individual. I don't know whether I'm explaining your question well.
Thank you very much. You have explained the question, but now you're leaving me with a question because I think I started dating maybe grade 3, grade 4. And now when you actually watch TV or those Western guys, their parents even support it. They even go out with the children on movies and what. Now, I heard you speaking about maturity. Now, at the age of maybe 14 or 13, I don't think that I'm mature enough to evaluate. Now, maturity, evaluation. Now, it brings me to the topic. You did hint a bit on it. It brings me to the topic that what is the right age then to start dating? Because now I think I've been wrong all along.
It's all about intentions. If you're dating at the age of 3, what were your intentions? Like I've said, the definition that I favor or like about dating is that these two, they evaluate their intimate relationship. So where's intimacy when you talk about a 3-year-old? Because tomorrow you will grow up and you live your separate ways. But what I can say, we cannot have a definite age because God is blessing us differently. You will find that you have just finished your tertiary, but you are still not ready for dating. Because when you start dating, you must be someone who is ready to say, if we take it to the next level, I will then need to own up to it.
Thank you very much. You've answered my question. So basically, what I get from this is once you are spiritually ready, mentally ready, and most importantly nowadays, financially ready, then you can talk about dating. And Akuman, I see you're there just relaxing and you're thinking about these questions. I've been asking you these questions before, you know. And now, I am financially ready. I am spiritually ready. Well, I'm from a country where polygamy is actually a good thing and it's allowed. But now, there's also the culture of our church on its own, has its own rules and morals. I think I should take this one to Elder Vilagati. How many partners should a boy date? How many?
We will go according to the Bible principles. We know we live in a situation or in a cultural setting where polygamy is accepted. But if you go back to creation, there was only one Adam and there was only one Eve. So if we go along that principle, the godly principle, there has to be one person attached to you, and there can only be one love. You can't have two people that you love at the same time, or two different kinds of love. Many a times we've heard God in the Bible referring to Israel as Israel, his wife, and Christ is the head of the church, and the church is the wife to Christ. So Christ only has one wife. So even in ourselves, we should follow that principle that you can only evaluate one person at a time in order to be able to make a clear assessment of your way forward or your path into the future of marriage. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I have an interesting fact for you, Professor Vilagati. It has been said that when you look at statistics of the world, there's a bigger or a larger number of women. Therefore, we've had a statement that we said 2 for each man, so there's balance. Apparently, viewers, that is not allowed. As much as you might be financially ready and all of that, but still, there's a lot of things that you need to consider when you do start dating and taking on a partner. But I do support that as well, and I think it's right, and whenever you go through the Bible, it's very good. The Bible teaches us the right way. Now, since you've corrected me on that one, and I'll correct myself, because I think I had 2 partners using the statistic. But now, since then, as we go about getting to learn each other, You find that you say hurtful things. You find that we end up getting hurt. Now, Baba talked about maturity, spirituality. Now, it also means that you'll be open to that person. If something wrong happens, that means that you have a heartbreak. How do I then deal with that? What's your take on that one?
Thank you once again for the follow-up question. Sometimes we cannot get away from heartbreaks. The devil is always after us, wanting to win us over to his side. The thing is, once you get to the stage of heartache, then what do? Again, I'll go back to Bible principles. What did the children of Israel when God had forsaken them and they had nowhere to go? Who did they regard as their Redeemer? It is only God. They went back to God and they repented from their errors or sins. So it is only through the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is the one who comforts us. Jesus says, I will ask the Father to send the Holy Spirit, who will be your comforter, another comforter. So Jesus was a comforter, and now here is the Holy Spirit. People have broken through bereavements, through many things that go through that they go through in life. So there is no solution apart from Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit. Just connect yourself with Christ. And they normally say, there's a saying that time is the greatest healer. Go back to Christ, and Christ will give you the time to heal. Then you'll be fine and move on with your life.
Thank you very much for that one. Oh, it's very interesting. You heard it for yourself. You was Nzabaima rebounds. No rebounds. So you leave it all to God. Yeah. Now, no. This one is for you. It's a very interesting one. I'm a boy. I've been in the church for the longest time. When you come to think of it, I've been in Babani Church, I don't know for how long. Most of the girls here that I know, I've grown with them. They know my problems. I know their problems. They know my financial issues. I know theirs as well. They know my family setup. I know their family setup. At some point, our parents used to say we're sisters. Now we've gotten to the stage of dating. Yeah. Now we've grown as sisters. At some point in our lives, we tried dating, but then our parents would kill us. So now, how do we then transit to us seeing each other as mates? Or for that matter, if we don't even get to that point, they no longer have interest in me. But the ones outside there do have interest in me. What should I do? We always speak of equally yoked. But now the ones that I feel like I'm equally yoked with don't even see me as that person. They see me as a brother. What do I do now?
Yeah. The questions are getting tougher and more complex. That's a very tricky but real scenario that you describe. I'll maybe respond by taking leave from the earlier questions that you asked. Based on the understanding of what dating is, we say dating is a process of getting to know each other with the intention of starting a family. So there is intent and there is readiness. The situation you described, that there's someone that you already know in the church, would actually be a good foundation. to start off from, because you are looking into having a lifelong relationship with this person. How much better is it to start off with someone that you already know very well? So friendship is a good foundation for dating and for having a relationship. So that's a good foundation. You say then you will find that in the church, probably they now view as brother and sister, and you think of that as an obstacle. That should be an advantage, as I've said. You would put yourself in a more difficult situation to try and look for someone who's outside the church. Because remember, we want to fully evaluate, we want to fully know this person, we want to see if we are compatible. So in that process with someone that you know partially, there's a lot that you'll discover when you're now committed. That will start shocking you and surprising you. Having said that, the Bible is clear that he who obtains a wife has gotten favor from God, has got a good thing, and it's actually a favor from God. So the moment you think you are ready, you think you are mature, you want to start dating, you want to look for a life partner, your source should be God. Your relationship with God at that time should be at its peak, because it is God who then gives you a partner. There's usually this challenge also that's there to say, in the church, there are no girls. I don't see anyone in the church. So and so is not okay, so and so is not okay. But in reality, you do not need girls. Because as Elder Vilagate has mentioned, ultimately you're going to marry one person. So you're not looking for numbers. You're looking for the right person, who does not come in numbers. So who shows you that right person? It is your level in your relationship with God. So even in that setup, the time you think, I want to take a step into marriage, strengthen your relationship with God. He will show you not many, because you don't need many, but that one. There may be 50 in the church, but you just need one, and God knows who that one is. Yeah, and He will guide you to that.
Hey, he just reminded me of a men's conference I once went to. Now, they were saying that women are more like onions and men are more like apples. You spoke about something crucial, about friendship, meaning that you already know the person. You might be at a level of friendship, but now going out there means that I still have to peel those, peel that onion. Peeling that onion it has a lot of layers. Unlike us, we just need respect and a few things there and there. But yeah. But now, since now I have said it that way, God knows. Say, I think now that God has shown me this person, and I've gone through these layers that this onion has. It now means that this person is more of a crush to me first, because intent. So the SWAT is big as how gay. So meaning that person is now a crush. How do I then approach that person? You know, how can I change that person, that crush, into a reality?
I don't know if we can give lessons and presentations on how to approach someone. Yeah, it's an interesting question, but I will take it again from my earlier submission that to get a wife and a partner ultimately is a gift from God. And the foundation of friendship is important, foundation of compatibility is important. So it is also important also to appreciate that in as much as God gives you a wife, the wife is also given a husband by God. So that's why at that point it's critical that your level of connection with God is very high. Either you're a boy or a girl. Because it is God who then aligns the both of you. God does not just give you your girl, but God is also giving you to the girl. So God knows both of you. And if you are both anchored on God, He'll bring the two of you closer together and you'll realize your compatibilities and the things that you need to work on to strengthen your relationship. You have a crush and you are trying to reach out to this crush, but this crush probably is not seeing or is not responding the way you would want. I'll just give maybe a caution there to say at the level of dating, which is what we're talking about, dating is not marriage. So when you're dating someone, it is not a permanent bond that you are creating with this person. So you should prepare your heart that I'm in the process of getting to know and understand this person to assess if you could be compatible. If there are signs, therefore, that seem to suggest that probably we are not as compatible, that should not crush you because you are not yet in marriage. We are still in a level of assessing. So I'm saying, maybe as young people, as we are starting out to get to know someone, let us not over-commit and over-step as if we are now married. We are getting to know each other. So if it's as simple as knowing each other, then discovering that, no, actually this person does not like what I want should not hurt you. Challenge given I'm dating and I've decided that I want to marry this one. Then it becomes a challenge if you approach it like that. But approach it as dating and saying, I want to see, can this work, can it not work? If it doesn't, God will guide me elsewhere.
Thank you very much for that one. I'm stunned. Seemingly I still need to go back to my drawing board and work on the right set of skills because I think I've been going on it the wrong way. And I know for a fact that many of my viewers as well have been doing the same thing. But before we close, do you have anything as an addition, as advice to the boys there that are still single and mingling? You know, what do you have to say?
Maybe I can start with the question that you posed to William Kumar about the crush. You know, a crush is some sort of feelings, short-term feelings that you have for someone to physically engage with that particular individual. So, to me, I would say we should resist to have those feelings. I know they come because as boys we talk about, look at those legs, look at those arms, but we should avoid having such feelings, and we should pray to God that he sometimes he put that spirit within us that will enable to resist that temptation. And the other thing, when you are getting ready to engage, you must know that this is a lifetime commitment. Once you God have chosen that particular individual, because you will feel it even within you, that this person is the one. And she will feel it as well. And you start working on it. I heard you about peeling off onions. I don't know where that theory comes from. But in a relationship, there's no one who's perfect. Those whom we have grown with in church, you will peel less onions than those who you have not grown with in church. So I would say spend more time with those whom you associate with, more especially in church. Then you will be able to know the right person or the right partner for yourself.
If I'm to make an addition, I would just want to maybe make a distinction between dating and marriage itself. In dating, you have room to make intelligent decisions based on your assessment and evaluation that you've made, obviously inspired and guided by God. So you make a decision whether to go into a relationship or not. When it comes to marriage, you're now making a commitment. When you're in marriage, it's not about making decisions or making evaluations, because now you are in a commitment. When we are talking about dating, you can talk of love and crush and feelings. When you're now in marriage, we now talk of love as a principle, not as a feeling. So once you commit to marriage, you are saying, I love you in spite of. Whereas on the other side, you can say, I love you because of. So in dating, you may have reasons. In marriage, you are committing. Say, come what may, I will love you and commit to you unconditionally. Whether I'm excited or not, I will still love you and commit to you. Just like Christ loves the church. Sometimes we are stubborn, sometimes we are sinful, but it still showers us with blessings of love. So that's an advice I would give to young men, to say, as you commit into marriage, commit with that idea of saying, I'm going in 100%. I'm going in full force, I'm going in with all I have, and I'm giving it commitment as a principle. I love you, I will always do.
Additional thoughts on my side would be, we are warned or instructed by spiritual prophecy that when you get to the stage whereby you want to start dating, it's not something that you should take lightly. First of all, you mentioned about relationships, a relationship with God, that your relationship with God has to be firm, so you have a good foundation. Ellen White says, with that foundation, it's still not good enough. Your prayers need to be doubled. So if you are praying 3 times a day, that means you need to pray 6 times a day in order to ask God to give you the right partner. So basically, at that stage where you are still monitoring and evaluating each other, your spiritual life should double in terms of growth. The other warning to young people is, while you are in the process of dating, avoid sexual interaction, because that is very, very, it's detrimental to your future. You could eventually get a child, and that child has destroyed your future, because what can happen if someone else comes into the relationship, it will always be a company. They say 2 is company, 3 is a crowd. It will always be a crowd, because someone at that party will always be involved in that child that you have born. Maybe because you feel like, I need to move on, it didn't work out with this individual. So avoid those creating a future conflict where it is not necessary. My father warned me while I was still young. He said, my boy, actually he said, my boys with my brother, if you feel like you want to start a family, this is not the place for you. I was still at high school at that time. I said, there's only one bull in this crawl. So that means you are now ready to start your own life. You are going to move out of this house. That was a strong warning. It has stayed with me for many, many, many years. And basically, that is the advice to young men. Think of your future, that you are engaging into a lifetime relationship. We mentioned earlier that the relationship between Christ and the church is not supposed to be broken until eternity, and we live with Him forever. And that's what Christ has always wanted. But it's only sin that has alienated us with that element of living with Him until we reach eternity.
Thank you very much for being with us. Thank you for gracing our stage. We hope that on the next episode, you will still support us. They normally say, happy wife, a happy home. So, for the next episode, food for thought. Once in a certain church, a pastor was preaching. As the pastor was preaching, the pastor said, to all the men that are controlled by government, may they please stand up. All the men stood up, but one. Now, the pastor said, we shall ask this sir, Babel Dlamini, to tell us all how he does it. Then the old man stood up and said, my wife said, I shouldn't stand up. Thank you very much, our viewers, for being here. Be with us. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you.